One piece of technology that has helped me tide through multiple lockdowns in the last year and a half. It's not a phone, it's not a laptop, it's not a TV, it's actually the Dyson V11 Absolute Pro. What is it? It's actually a very premium vacuum cleaner with some crazy suction power and some cool proprietary innovative tech inside, which makes your house cleaning much easier. Well, I've already reviewed the Dyson V11 Absolute Pro last year, but this one is actually an upgraded version of the previous variant with a click-in swappable battery, which solves one of my major concerns with the previous edition, and that is extended battery life. My name is Ershad, you're watching MySmartPrice, and this is our full review of the Dyson V11 Absolute Pro with swappable battery, and I'll tell you why it has made my life easier. But before we move on, don't forget to hit that red subscribe button. It's not going to do anything to you. And the bell icon right next to it to get notified whenever MySmartPrice puts out an awesome new tech video. So the V11 Absolute Pro actually carries forward Dyson's patented design for a vacuum cleaner, and it looks nothing short of a gun from a different planet. But anyway, it actually has the main body, which is attached to a filter and then a garbage bin. And of course, you can attach a multitude of cleaning accessories to it. Now this one is a nickel blue variant and it comes with 10 accessories, whereas the gold one, which is more expensive, actually comes with an extra floor standing dock. The box comes with all the tools and accessories compactly packed, but it is very difficult to put it back the right way. I wish Dyson had added an organizer or something to keep it packed neatly. Anyway, all the attachments are pretty useful. I'll tell you how in the performance section of the review. Now, if you want to attach one of the cleaning tools, all you need to do is clip it using the bright red plastic latch. It makes such a satisfying click sound. Removing it is easy too. As for the rest of the design, you have the unit up top with the LED display, which is attached to the filter unit. The filter unit is further attached to the garbage bin. Now, in this swappable battery variant, if you want to swap it out for another one, all you need to do is click the button and voila. But note that an extra swappable battery is not actually available with the package. You'll have to buy one separately, and that will set you back by about 7,000 rupees, which sort of makes sense considering the fact that Dyson hasn't increased the price of this variant with a swappable battery compared to the previous non-swappable one. The LED display is possibly the most useful upgrade from previous Dyson vacuums. You get a single large button that cycles through different modes: auto, eco, medium and boost. As the name suggests, each mode has different levels of intensity, plus you can clearly see how much battery is remaining at each level. Now the display also gives you a clear indication if there is any blockage obstructing the flow or when you're using the vacuum, and it's actually pretty useful. It happened to me a couple of times in the past 1.5 years, and it helped me identify the area where I could actually go ahead and fix it. Now if you use this in the eco mode, you can expect far better battery life, obviously considering the fact that it has the least suction power. In medium mode, which is generally good suction power, the battery lasts me 45 minutes at best. Boost mode runs through battery quickly and you will ever rarely need it. I mean, this is more than enough for a 1300 square foot house, but you will still need to charge every day considering it takes 4 hours and 30 minutes to top up the battery. Anyway, the swappable battery will come in handy now. As for the filter, you can remove it and clean it easily. It does require periodic cleaning, mind you. Having said that, the filter inside the V11 Absolute Pro is one of the most powerful ones used inside a vacuum cleaner. Dyson claims that it can clear up to 99.97% of particles as small as 0.3 microns, which means that it can actually also keep your air cool after you've done vacuuming. Now, obviously, that's a claim that I cannot test objectively, so we'll have to take Dyson's word for it. Finally, we have the Dustbin. This is possibly the coolest design element of the V11 Absolute Pro. With one swooping motion, you can clear out the entire dustbin. I suggest a straight up 90-degree angle to shoot the dust out. It will ensure that the maximum dust has been cleared out. So I've been using the previous V11 Absolute Pro without the swappable battery for about 1.5 years now, and I've also been testing this one extensively. What I have noticed is that the grimier bits of waste do tend to stick around the bin, so you will have to clean this bin periodically. I mean, about a month or two of usage later, and you will have to use water to clean it. But once you're done with that, you'll have to place it outside and ensure that it dries out entirely before you start using it again. Which reminds me that the Dyson V11 Absolute Pro cannot do wet cleaning, which is possible on something like the Mi Robot vacuum cleaner. Also, one of the things that I feel that Dyson could have done is I like the transparent case bin. It actually does look good. But what if we had the option to maybe add a filter and sort of just slide a slider and a black filter comes out? Because the most important reason for that is when you're placing this on a wall dock or a floor dock, what happens is that the dust and grime that you haven't cleaned properly is visible, and it sort of breaks the aesthetic of the house. So apart from the tiny niggles, I still feel that the Dyson V11 Absolute Pro is one of the better looking vacuum cleaners out there. In fact, it's so stylishly designed that it can actually be like an accessory that looks good in your house as well when you actually wall dock it as well. Now, apart from that, it's also got a design that is functionally useful and can put a lot of other vacuum cleaner designs to shame. Working the V11 Absolute Pro is simple. Point the nozzle to the area that you want cleaned, pull the trigger, and the Dyson will suck out all the dust like a pro. Now, talking about the trigger is actually very sensitive and it gets triggered very easily even with light touch. So I wish there was some sort of trigger lock which could ensure that, I'm not accidentally pressing the trigger, and also maybe help save some battery life in the process. Now, when I saw the attachments, my mind boggled. I couldn't tell which one to use, but then I did some reading and realized that for my cleaning purposes, I needed only 3 attachments for the most use cases: nickel high torque drive, crevice tool, and the soft dusting brush. The others I used sparingly were mini motorized tool and the soft roller head. Now this made me wonder, what if Dyson had a customization approach where it would let buyers choose which attachments they wanted and hence help save some money in the long run? So I used the nickel high torque drive cleaning tool, and I feel that it is possibly one of the most powerful attachments that I've used on a vacuum cleaner yet. It is so versatile. It can clean hard floors and it can also clean soft floors with consummate ease, and it's extremely good at cleaning. The suction power of 185 AW in boost mode is next level, but auto mode was good enough. And I could easily glide between the hard surface and a soft carpet in our living area with ease thanks to the dynamic load sensor built in. You know how I know that Dyson does a bang up job of cleaning? Back last year in 2020 when the lockdown happened, I started cleaning with a Philips corded vacuum cleaner, and every time after I was done with the cleaning and if I walked barefoot, then my sole would actually pick up specks of dust which obviously weren't visible to naked eye. And you know what, after having cleaned with the Dyson V11 Absolute Pro, and if you walk barefoot in the house, it feels like you've done some deep cleaning. It does that good cleaning. Also, the carpets turned brand new, but the kicker was how the same tool cleaned up Misa's hair shedding from a bed. It is actually tough to vacuum clean out of a floppy mattress. And with the crevice tool, I could reach the corners easily, so I used the soft dusting brush for dusting, but I felt the 3 kg weight was a bit much for dusting. I'd suggest using the extension hose to make it easier. So yeah, the V11 Absolute Pro is actually deceptively heavy, and if you plan to do a marathon cleaning session, ensure that you take some breaks, otherwise it would actually hurt your hand. So overall, the cleaning experience with the Dyson V11 Absolute Pro has been fantastic for me, and I think that this is one of the best vacuum cleaners that I've ever used. And I'm pretty sure that there are many very serious vacuum cleaner testing channels out there which have also given great reviews. I'll link to them in the description below. So I'm conscious of the fact that the V11 Absolute Pro is prohibitively expensive at its starting price of about 53,000 rupees and is away from the reach of most folks, including myself. But think of it this way, Dyson is to the world of air purifiers and vacuum cleaners what Apple is to the world of smartphones and smartwatches. Now, many other brands actually look up to these brands for the kind of innovations that they do. Especially with Dyson, the innovation that Dyson does is absolutely world class. However, I would definitely like to add the fact that you can also get Dyson's older vacuum cleaner, for example, the V8 Plus, which is still a great deal with fewer attachments and maybe fewer features as well. But for around 36,000 rupees, you can get the same famed, cleaning expertise of Dyson vacuum cleaners. Now, while doing the research for this review, I found out that Eureka Forbes now has an option for a handheld cordless vacuum cleaner, which is very similar to Dyson, let me tell you that, and available for a very low price of just rupees 16,000. It's got similar kind of attachments as well, and it's got a blower inside, to blow out the dust. Having said that, I haven't reviewed it yet, and the suction power on that is not as good as this, of course. But, the price is definitely inviting. Let me know if you guys want me to review it. I can probably ask Eureka Forbes for it. So what did you guys think about this vacuum cleaner? Do let me know in the comment section below. I quite like it. I quite enjoy it. I feel that it is definitely prohibitively expensive, but it is worth the investment if you want to make one and, make your lives better. Well, that's it from me. My name is Arshad. You're watching My Smart Price. See you in the next one. Goodbye and Godspeed, my friends.